everybody, and thanks for tuning into the AFV Factory. It's always appreciated. As you may well know, if you follow me on any of the social media platforms, I've recently received a couple of new amusing hobby releases, one being this Centurion Action X, and the other is a Leopard 2 ARC 3.0, which I will get to probably next week, I should think. But I've done a written review just looking in the box, which is on my Facebook page, and I always do a video as well, just simply lifting the lid and having a look what we've got, and so on and so forth. So as I've done on the Facebook page, start just with a little bit of history. The name Action X wasn't familiar to me, so I needed to do a bit of research and see what that was about. It's not a true name in the sense that it was never called the Action X. That came about, there was a book that was published in the early 2000s, and the author of the book had a photograph, or had seen a photograph, which said Action X on the rear. It was later discovered that that had been written on there in the 80s, much later than when this turret was being produced. So what you actually have here is Centurion Mantleless Turret was the name of the project, and the reason for it was simply, it was early part of the 60s, and the Chieftain was well on its way to being developed and becoming Britain's next main battle tank. The Centurion had been an excellent tank. It had been well liked by many countries, and the British were hoping that the Chieftain would follow suit and also be good for export. But it was going to be a lot more expensive, and they were concerned that, again, that would affect export sales to countries that weren't able to afford to buy the Chieftain. So they developed this mantleless turret alongside the Chieftain developments, and the idea was that they would be able to offer this as an upgrade to countries that had the Centurion. And essentially, as I say, it's mantleless. It's what you see now on all modern battle tanks. It was offered in two calibers, the 20 pounder, which is 84mm, and the newer L7 105mm gun. It didn't go anywhere. Only 3 turrets were produced, and 2 of those were fitted to Centurion chassis for trials, and the other one went to gunnery trials. So no one really knows where this Action X name came from, but it's been taken up, and people have sort of run with it, very much along the same lines as the erroneous Porsche turret for the King Tiger. Well, it's actually Porsche didn't make the turrets at all, so that name was incorrect, as is this. But companies and games like World of Tanks and War Thunder have used this Action X. It's become sort of dyed in the wool, so to speak. And so, for obvious reasons, amusing hobbies have also gone with the Action X rather than the Centurion mantleless turret, because, you know, people understand that, you know, if you say Action X, Centurion, people know what it is through the gaming exploits and that sort of thing. So let's stop that history lesson now, and let's lift up the lid and we can have a look and see what we're actually getting in the box. So I've opened some of these bags already so that I could have a look and take some photographs for the written review. So let's have a look. from what I could tell looking through, everything seemed nicely moulded and nice and crisp. There was no issues that I could see where there was any flash really, or sink marks or poor moulding. I think, having done quite a few amusing hobby kits now, I think they are sort of really getting on top of their game with regard to mouldings and that sort of thing. It was definitely noticeable with regard to the Tiger P that I did. That was very well moulded. What have we got here? So these bags also just pull apart, which is, I think, is a little nice touch, because well, he says now being unable to pull the bag apart. There we go. So got the sprockets here. Again, just some simple but nice details. Bolt heads, little parts like the hooks for the toe, the shackles, and tow cable ends there. That's the second one. I'm thinking that this is the exhaust here, and these are the these would be the exhaust tips. So this is the bag that's got the 20 pounder in. You can actually get two turrets. I'll show you the turrets in a bit, but so that's the 20 pounder gun. It's slide moulded, so you've got an open muzzle. It doesn't have the fume extractor on it, so it's just a straight barrel. Got a hatch there. Again, 30 caliber machine gun. Hopefully that's focusing. Again, nothing complicated, but all appears to be nicely moulded. And the I don't know if this will show, but yeah, the 30 cal is also slide moulded, so that's got a muzzle as well, which is a nice touch and good on that. It's quite a small barrel. So here we have, so this is the mantleless turret. Which has got some quite nice casting on it, or not casting really. Yeah, I suppose it would be. Yeah, it's not welded, is it? So it is a cast turret. So it's got some nice, quite fine, but it's definitely visible there. Hoping that that's showing up for you. The 105 barrel comes in 3 parts. So you've got the one part there. There's the fume extractor that goes in the middle, and there's the final part. And again, slide moulded. And actually, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on this, but the muzzle is rifled as well. So that's very nicely done and delicate on that scale. So we've got all the turret bins here. There's the clamshell turret hatch for the main commander's cupola. And again, they've got a nice texture on them. If in fact that's zooming in and crisp, I hope it is. Yeah, so again, got some maybe oil and fuel caps there. I did notice, I think in the instructions it said something about where you fill it up, so that would be useful obviously for when you're weathering and you can do staining and that sort of thing. It's nice to know what went in where. So this is the other turret. So this is the turret you would get on any other. Now they did change the turret. I think they had 2 different turrets. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the second turret of the Centurion run, but I don't know that for certain. But what is nice is if you could, you've got a choice of turrets, so you've therefore got a choice of Centurions that you can build, and also you could build the turret and have it alongside so that you could have a comparison. Now this does have yeah, that's the mantlet there. Again, the turret sides. So yeah, I know they make a little selection of Centurions, so I would guess that essentially what this kit is one of their Centurions where they've just added the parts for the mantleless turret. Everything else is in there as well. There's the tub. Again, pretty standard stuff. It is what it is. These plastic tubs. It's nice and straight by the look of it. And yeah, we've got the tracks, individual links, no glue in, click together, and all cleaned up, so there's no work involved, which is nice. You just we'll see how they go when I build this, but theoretically, yeah, you just unbag them and clip them together. So a lot of time saving there, if nothing else. So here we have the side armour. Again, this is pretty standard stuff, as you would see on Centurions. What is interesting is, well, interested me anyway, was when I first looked through the box, I thought there was a part missing because I couldn't find the chassis upper. But it's actually in 3 pieces, which I don't think I've ever built a model that's had a 3-piece chassis top. So you've got the engine grills here at the rear, or whatever the rear deck is there. Then you'll see your centre with where the turret fits, the turret ring, and then here we have the glacis. So, and that's obviously the driver's hatch. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then the glacis. So I thought that was quite interesting. Just looking over this. Yeah, again, these pieces seem to be straight and square. And yet everything is still looking well moulded. No flash that I can see. And no sink marks or poorly moulded parts. And finally for the plastic, come on, let me in. There we go. So this is the, so that's the glacis. So whether you've got a choice of bits and pieces, again, so you've got the transmission hubs, I suppose, for the final transmission there, which glue onto the chassis. You've got track guards here and boxes. They would go along underneath the turret. Again, it's just a nice looking plastic, really. So I've got a couple of shovels. They're nice and delicate, they're not oversized. I think those are exhaust shrouds, possibly. So yeah, we should have 2 sprues in here, not sprues, 2 frets for PE, which we have there. And this is a 3D printed searchlight. So again, the turret, that mantless turret, never had a searchlight on it, but obviously if you're building a what if, which essentially is what this is, a War Thunder or World of Tanks kit, there's no reason why you can't put a searchlight on there. So this, as I looked at it, was quite nicely printed. Unfortunately, get it to come out, so it's nicely printed. Bit of clearing up to do, but on the whole, it's very nice and delicate. But no lens, so I don't know whether I was supposed to get a lens and it was forgotten to be put in, but which is unfortunate, but I don't know whether that's a mishap with this one kit, but it's something obviously that Amusing Hobby needs to sort out before this is released. And so finally are the instructions, so we'll have a quick look through those. So instruction booklet, it's pretty standard stuff. If you've built any models, especially tanks, you'll know exactly what's coming with this. But we've got the standard sprue layout. I think there's 11 sprues. So 11 sprues. Obviously some are repeated, specifically the road wheels and sprockets. Lower hull, the 2 PE frets, 6 springs. Now, I don't remember actually seeing those springs. That's a point. So I'll have to check on that. 6 springs, tow cable, which again, I don't remember seeing the tow cable either. But I'll look into that. And right at the bottom there, the tracks. So we start off again, as quite a lot do, working on the lower hull. So it's going to be workable suspension, which isn't something they almost certainly do. Workable suspension and workable tracks. We've got pretty straightforward looking construction here. Nicely shows you where not to glue, etc. Yeah, and moving on to the final drives. And over here onto the track. So it's 102 links per side. And as I say, they just click together. So I'm hoping that that is going to be the case. You've got a directional there to show which is forward and which isn't. Something that I was impressed about, or looked good anyway, was this, that you've got an adjustable, you can adjust the track's tension, which is quite a nice thing. I've not ever come across that before on a model. I know you can do it yourself on the idler, but it's nice that this is a built-in factor for this model. And then carrying on with work on the chassis. So again, it's there's not a lot of major sub-assemblies, and also we're not dealing with lots of small fiddly bits. I don't know whether it's intentional or not, but Amusing Hobby seems to avoid the going down the road of having to assemble things with lots of little bits and pieces. They certainly didn't again with that Tiger P that I built. Considering it had an interior, it was very easy to assemble. So here we've got the upper then. So as I said, the engine deck, where the turret ring, the driver's hatch. So yeah, so there is the glacis going on here, and adding bits on with the lights, etc. Books coming apart. And so here we've finally buttoning up the chassis top. And yeah, so there are the exhausts with those, they're called fishtails, I believe, something like that. They certainly are. I think they are on motorbikes, but quite a unique exhaust there. There's the shovels going on. There's a sledgehammer as well, which I didn't see, but that must be on one of the frets in there, and a big bar. More bits going on there. So yeah, some more tools here. We've got a couple of pickaxes. This is just again a repeat of the sides with the exhaust. Tow cables going on, which, yeah, I don't think I've got the tow cables. I'm going to have to ask them about that. And then I think, yeah, we're on to the turret. So pretty straightforward. There's no interior at all. Something needs trimming there for, looks like for the periscope, for the, yeah, looks like maybe the commander's periscopes there. The stowage bins going on. So the turret looks pretty straightforward. So yeah, there's the 105mm, the L7 with the 3 parts. Yeah, more bits adding to the turret, so it starts to get a bit busy, which is nice. So there is another 30 cal there. Off my finger. That's obviously the coaxial machine gun, and the other one is obviously an option to mount on the top there. Yeah, so there it is. There's the commander's machine gun, which is there again. As I said, pretty simple, just basic, but nice and clean. Doesn't need to have any more parts on there than is necessary. We've got additional track links to go along the side of the, well, it's actually on the rear, sorry, of the turret there. And that is it. So that's the turret complete and sat onto the chassis. There's one colour call out. I dare say you could do whatever you wanted with it, really, depending on how out there you're gonna go. But probably when I build this, I shall just keep it as this, you know, keep it as standard as possible in khaki green. And the other thing, I'm not sure why, but there's no decals with this at all. I can't see any mention of them, so it may be that they've just not using decals because again, the tank never existed, so there'd be no formation decals and number plates, etc, etc. So yeah, there it is. It looks good. I'm looking forward to getting to build it. It's not going to be straight away. I've got other stuff that I've got to finish to make room. I'll find out about the springs and the tow cable, and the other review for the Leopard 2 will also be coming fairly shortly. So I'll leave that there for now. If you've got any questions, please just drop me a comment and I'll hopefully be able to answer those for you. But otherwise, I shall leave that there. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch up with you soon.